So then, Rally to Roma Capitale, and I'm going to run through this with a bit of a review script that I've got for us, because there are a few different things that I wanted to talk about over the course of this event, but as I've been following it in and out over the course of the weekend, as I'm currently on my travels around Western Europe, let's have a look at what was going on down towards the Mediterranean. It's worth starting off the story of the event, and the person who was probably a bit of a dark horse in terms of this event was Boštjan Avlej, who the Slovenian driver, who was entered as Italian, I think, as well, because I've seen both put alongside him, is currently 7th for the, well, he was 7th for the Italian Championship going into the event. He got a 5th last year in Rome and 4th for the Italian Championship, of course was runner-up in San Remo, but he won stage 2 and continued to be in the lead battle really until about Saturday lunchtime. But arguably the star out and out was Andrea Cagnola again. The winner last year just picked up where he left off and ran off into the distance. It wasn't necessarily Giandomenico Basso who was second either. Basso did pick up a bit more pace towards the end of the event, but the white Yaris, which is a similar kind of Yaris to what we've just seen announced for Sami Piari's Rally 1 debut, isn't really gelling with him, and he wasn't really too clear about why. I know he picked up, I think he picked up a puncher at one point, which hampered him a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It could be that the Yaris isn't really well set up for things like Italian tarmac. Because of the stop-start nature of it and the 3-cylinder engine. What I can definitely say is at the end of Saturday it was mega to see the top 6 separated by less than 10 seconds. Efren Lorena in 6th was 9.2 off. And, I mean, this event's been a great confidence boost for Lorena and his co-driver Sarah Fernandez, who missed last time out in Estonia and have now, I believe the official announcement was, finished their contract with MRF and are now running Michelin's. And, well, it's obviously given them some kind of reward because they're up towards the front. I saw that Martin Sesks didn't start the event, which could mean problems for MRF. I don't know. But, of course, they had been putting a lot of resources into the ERC until, well, I don't know if they still do, but what seems to have been the turning point is Hankook picking up the WRC tender, though whether or not that's just me projecting, I don't know. Of course, the biggest story from the rally was the massive crash for Mats Osberg and Patrick Barth. Great to see both eventually come away from the crash. Obviously, they were both taken to hospital. Barth now, well, it's not clear if he'll be headed back to Norway or not to go through his surgery. But Osberg initially said that Patrick had lost consciousness and regained consciousness and was bleeding from his face, and later confirmed that Patrick Barth had a broken jaw and a broken hip and would have to undergo surgery. And I just wish him a speedy recovery. And it's testament to the strength of these current Rally 2 cars, because those crashes, they are heavy. Direct passenger side contact into a tree. And we've seen too many crashes with a much worse outcome, even involving modern rallying machinery like the older generation of R5. There's testament to how far they developed, even if the regulations are stayed largely the same, that although Barth has been injured and will require surgery, he was still able to get out of the car and yeah, I just wish him a speedy recovery and all the best, because to come away with injuries is horrible, but glad to see these come away from it. Then after the red flags were lifted, it was through to the final couple of stages. Tempestini had started to slip back. He had been a front runner. I think he was only 7 tenths off the lead at the end of Saturday's stages. But right at the final hurdle, literally the final corner of the event, had to come in really hot. You see the tyre smoke get kicked up. Ends up tying for position with Matthew Franceschi, with the tie being decided based off of what stage one. That's how they usually do it in rallying. So it shows that every stage counts towards this event. Meanwhile, Simona Campidelli and Tanya Canton charged up the order and managed to get to the podium, managed to get to the second place spot, which is a great performance for them as well. It's great to see them be able to do that and to get towards podium position, even when they were having, I think, was it intercom issues? I heard the interview at the end of the stage in which Campidelli described as having to MacGyver the headset back together. But what was amazing was that means that there were two manufacturers and two different tyre suppliers on the podium, with one Pirelli shot and one Michelin shot Skoda, and Cragnola on the top step. But Cragnola was essentially unbeatable. And with that podium having Canton and Fernandez on it, meant there were two women on the podium, which is always great to see in rallying. But Cragnola made that Citroen work exceptionally. It's the third event in a row won by a local driver, fourth in a row by a non-regular driver. He's the second driver at Citroen C3 to win this season after Johan Bernardo, and on a different tyre to Bernardo, who won in Michelin's Rally La Canaria. He's not one on Pirelli's. It's a big win for him, double win of the National Championship too. I think the first stage technically was the kind of bonus stage, bonus PowerPoint stage. Yeah, so maximum points all for him in, I believe, both events, but I could be wrong about that one. But in terms of the ERC, it is definitely the maximum points, so which has been the case for the winner of the rally for the last three events in a row as well. Elsewhere, I saw this via Dirtfish. Stefan Lefebvre was excluded from the event and fined €10,000. Apparently his Hyundai wasn't registered correctly after it had been purchased from Hyundai Motorsport. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe I haven't been registered to the new owners of it correctly. In the ERC3, it was a cultural win for Martin Kern, who won 11 and 13 stages. The other two went to Kowalczyk, whose Renault was 149.7 down at the end. It's a bigger win for Kern in the Fiesta Rally 3 Trophy. Philip Kern beat Kerem Kazaz by 2 minutes 55.8 seconds. Puts him ahead of Kazaz comfortably in both championships again. It's 107 to 104 in the ERC3 because Kazaz did Estonia and came, I think, second there, which wasn't part of the Rally 3 Trophy, so Kern didn't do that. Meanwhile, in the Rally 3 Trophy, Kern is 20 points ahead. It's 114 to 94. In ERC4, Giorgio Cogni beats Martin Bertalan by 2 minutes 21.9. The Rally 5's comfortably behind the Rally 4s. This moves Bertalan up to 8th in the standings and ties him with Aoife Rafferty. But this Bertalan's first start since Hungary at the start of the season. So, despite being second place, whilst Rafferty herself hasn't been, winning junior ERC events constantly, the reason why the gap has managed to close in that kind of way is because there were only 2 Rally 4s in ERC4. The juniors weren't there, so most of the ERC4 field wasn't there. In terms of the championship picture, Hayden Patton now leads Matthew Franceschi by 7 points, with Simona Tempestini on 59 points to Patton's 89, so 30 points, nearly a whole event in hand with 3 events left to go. Obviously, best 6 scores come to count together, so what it will actually mean, not quite clear yet. But what it shows is that Patton has just been consistent again and again and again. He's only gotten 1 podium this season, believe it or not, and that was in Sweden despite getting a puncher on the power stage. Yet he's still leading the championship, and that's good for him, picking up a power stage point and 15 points even though he was 6th place in what I heard from the commentary was his 200th career start. It was good to see him saying thanks to the team, to BRC, for the support at the end of it as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.